Hi class, welcome to another week of online learning. We are getting to the end, so obviously I'm hoping that you're continuing with all of your work, and we only have a few more weeks of this. This week we're going to wrap up our chapter on polynomials, and then we will finish one more unit for the last basically 2 to 3 weeks we have left of class, and focus on something called factoring. So today we're going to continue with multiplying polynomials, which we started talking about last week. And today we're going to be multiplying binomials. So you're going to multiply two expressions that have two terms. And the one method that we like to teach is known as the FOIL method. So the letters of FOIL each stand for a word. So F stands for first. And what that means is you're going to multiply the first term in each parenthesis. You're going to multiply x times x, and knowing from last week we should add the exponents, that would result in x squared. O stands for outer. So in this case we will multiply the terms on the outside of each parenthesis. X times 1 is 1x. I stands for inner, which means we multiply the two numbers on the inside of the parenthesis. 1 times x would equal 1x. And then L stands for last, which means you multiply the last number in each parenthesis, in this case 1 times 1, which is 1. After this point, you should have one additional step to complete. You will have to combine your like terms, and more than likely the two numbers in the middle will be the like terms that you are going to be adding together. So you'll keep your x squared in the beginning, you'll add 1x and 1x, which would equal 2x, and you would keep your positive 1 at the end of the expression, which would give you this final answer. You'll notice this little example here on the right-hand side. It gives you the same idea. You're multiplying the first, outer, inner, and last terms in those parentheses. Another way you could think of this is really that you are just distributing each term in the first parenthesis to each term in the second parenthesis. You multiply this x by x and 1, and you multiply the 1 by x and 1. So if that's a little bit easier than considering the FOIL method, both of those ideas will get you to the same result. So I'm going to complete a few of these here with you. If you look at number 2, again, multiply the first and outer. So x times x would be x squared. X times 2 would be 2x. Then we multiply the inner and last. 1 times x is 1x. 1 times 2 is 2. And add the like terms together in the middle, which would give you x squared plus 3x plus 2. For number 3, same idea. You have x times x, which is x squared. Then the outer terms, x times 3 is 3x. Multiply your inner terms and your last terms. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6. Combine your like terms in the middle, and you will get 5x, and keep your plus 6 at the end. Okay, now in number 4, you will notice, again, you have two positive numbers. You're following the same process. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Multiply your inner and your last terms. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2 is 6. Add your terms in the middle. Keep x squared plus 5x plus 6. And you may notice as you're completing this actually is the same problem as number 3, but the terms are flipped around. So you have the x plus 3 first and the x plus 2 second. And what you should notice is it doesn't really matter what order those terms are in. we ended up with the same result in number 3 and number 4. Okay, I'm going to complete number 6 with you next, and then I'm going to jump down and complete number 9, and then I'm going to leave the rest of these questions for you to fill in on your own in hopes that you have an understanding of this process. Okay, so in number 6, if you notice here, you're continuing with that FOIL method. X times x, the first term's x squared. X times 2 gives us a positive 2x. Now you'll notice in this case you have a negative 6 multiplied by x. That negative has to be a part of that term, so you get negative 6x. And negative 6 times 2 will result in negative 12. As you're working through this, when you combine your like terms, you're still adding the middle, so you will have 2 minus 6, or 2 plus a negative 6. That would result in negative 4x, and keep your minus 12. So just be careful when the signs aren't all the same that you're using the proper signs as you add your like terms. Okay. I'm actually going to jump over and do 7 as well, because I notice here you have 2 negative signs. So the process is the same, but use those negative signs as you're distributing. So x times x would be x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times negative 4, you have 2 negatives, so that actually equals a positive 20. So that's what I want you to be careful of on that one. Continuing with combining your like terms, negative 4x plus negative 5x is a negative 9x. So that would be our final answer for number 7. Okay, so looking at this, you notice in 9, 10, and 11, the first terms are not necessarily just a letter. We have some coefficients in front of them. So if you look at number 9, you have 2x multiplied by 1x. It's the same results as last week, so you're going to take 2 times 1, which is 2, and continue to add your exponents. X plus x would be x squared. Multiply 2x times 2, those are your outer terms. That would result in 4x. Your inner terms, 1 times x, would be 1x. And your last terms, 1 times 2, would equal 2. At this point, again, what you've done already, combine those middle terms because they both have an x. 4x plus 1x equals 5x plus your 2. If you notice, you have 5, 8, 10, and 11 that you have not completed yet, or I haven't completed yet, I should say. And I would like you guys to complete those 4 questions on your own before you submit this assignment. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email, and I will get back to you. But as you're watching this, hopefully take the time and really learn this process because it's definitely something you're going to see in future math classes. Have a good day.